Hey everyone, I know you're all busy building your empires, but we got to talk about something really important today.
Business insurance.
Yeah, business insurance. It might not be the most exciting topic.
Not as fun as, launching a new product or
Right. Yeah,
closing a big deal.
exactly. But it's something that can literally make or break your business.
It really can.
And to prove it, we'll be sharing the story of a restaurant owner who was able to rebuild after a fire thanks to having the right insurance.
Wow.
So stick around for that.
Yeah, that's a great story. It really highlights why we're doing this deep dive. Business insurance is like that safety net you hope you never need.
Right.
But when you need it, you are so grateful you have it. It's kind of crazy to think about how many businesses just don't reopen after a disaster.
Because they didn't have the right insurance.
Exactly. It's almost 40%, which is a huge number.
That's a scary thought, to think that you could lose everything you've worked so hard for.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't have the right protection in place. So let's break it down.
Yeah, let's do it.
What are the main types of business insurance that entrepreneurs need to be aware of? I know from the research that we did for this deep dive,
Oh, yeah.
there are a lot of different categories.
There are a ton.
So where do we even begin?
Well, let's start with the basics.
Okay.
The foundational types of coverage that every business owner should consider. And honestly, one of the most important is general liability insurance.
Okay, so general liability, that one sounds familiar.
It's the one that protects you against the everyday accidents and mishaps that can happen in any business.
Okay, so like what kinds of things are we talking about?
So imagine a customer slips and falls in your store,
Oh, no.
or maybe a product malfunctions and causes harm.
Right.
General liability is there to cover those oops moments.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
General liability is like your protection against those unpredictable accidents that can pop up at any time.
Exactly.
But what about protecting the actual, like, physical stuff?
Ah, you're talking about property insurance.
Like,
And yeah, that one's crucial too. This covers the building itself if you own it,
okay.
plus everything inside your equipment, inventory, computers, furniture.
Oh, wow. So it's pretty comprehensive.
It is. It protects you against things like fire, theft, vandalism, even natural disasters.
So if a storm damages your office, or like in that restaurant story,
Yeah,
a fire breaks out, property insurance is there to help you rebuild.
it is. And that's a great example of how important it is to have the right amount of coverage.
Right. Because how do you even know how much coverage you need?
Well, it really depends on the value of your assets and the level of risk you're comfortable with.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like if you're running a tech startup with, expensive servers and sensitive data,
Right.
you're going to need a much more robust policy than, let's say, a small retail shop.
Okay, so it's not one size fits all.
Absolutely not. And, going back to that restaurant owner, they had enough coverage not only to rebuild their kitchen, but also to replace the income they lost while they were closed. Without that, they might not have been able to recover.
So insurance can really be the difference between shutting down and bouncing back even stronger.
Exactly.
That's incredible. But what about those times when, like, you can't operate at all?
Oh, yeah.
Like something happens and you have to shut down temporarily.
Right. You're talking about business interruption insurance,
Okay.
which is often overlooked but so important.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. A fire, a flood, even a pandemic.
Right.
Anything that forces you to close your doors.
And then the bills keep piling up.
They do rent, utilities, loans,
Yeah.
maybe employee salaries.
But you have no revenue coming in.
Exactly. And that's where business interruption insurance comes in.
Okay, so it helps cover those expenses while you're getting back on your feet.
It does. It basically acts as a financial bridge.
Okay, so we've got general liability for everyday accidents.
Yep.
Property insurance for physical assets.
Mm-hmm.
And business interruption insurance for those times when you can't operate.
That's right.
What else should entrepreneurs be thinking about?
If you have employees,
Yes.
then you absolutely need workers' compensation insurance.
Right, because protecting your team is so important.
It is. And in most states, it's actually required by law.
So workers' comp covers medical expenses and lost wages if an employee gets injured on the job.
Precisely. It protects both you and your employees.
Okay, so it's about creating a safe and secure work environment,
Exactly.
which is essential for any successful business.
For sure.
But I'm sure everyone listening is thinking, this all sounds really expensive.
Yeah.
So how can entrepreneurs actually afford all this coverage?
That's a great question. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about in part 2 of this deep dive.
So stay tuned, because we're going to share some cost-saving strategies that can help you get the protection you need without breaking the bank.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive on business insurance.
Okay, so let's tackle the big question on everyone's mind.
How to afford it all.
Exactly. It's one thing to know you need insurance, but then you see the price tag. It's like, whoa, how am I going to swing this?
It's a balancing act for sure.
So where do we even start?
Well, honestly, one of the best things you can do is find a good insurance agent.
Okay, an insurance agent. So like, how do we find one who actually understands entrepreneurs?
Yeah, someone who's not just going to try and sell you the most expensive package.
Exactly.
Well, first of all, look for someone who specializes in business insurance.
Okay.
You don't want someone who just dabbles in it,
Yeah.
You want an expert who really understands the risks that businesses face.
And I'm guessing someone who understands your specific industry.
Exactly. Like if you're a tech startup, you're going to need someone who understands things like intellectual property and cyber liability.
Right. So basically, we need to find an expert who speaks our language?
Yeah, someone who gets it.
Okay, so we need a specialist. What else should we be looking for?
Look for an independent agent.
Okay, what does that mean?
An independent agent works with multiple insurance carriers.
Oh, so they're not tied to just one company.
Exactly, which means they can shop around and get you the best rates.
Okay, so it's like having a personal shopper for insurance.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that.
And don't forget about good communication.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
You want an agent who can explain things clearly in a way you understand.
Right, because insurance can be so confusing.
It really can be.
So we need an expert who's independent and a good communicator.
Yes, and don't forget to check online reviews.
Yes, good point.
And ask for references from other business owners.
Word of mouth is always the best.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's say we found our dream insurance agent.
Awesome.
What happens next?
Well, the next step is to give them a really good look at your business.
Oh?
They'll want to know everything, your operations, your revenue, your assets, your employees, the services you provide, any specific risks you face.
So it's kind of like a vulnerability assessment for your whole business.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay, so now let's talk about the cost.
All right, let's do it.
What are some ways that entrepreneurs can save money on insurance without compromising on coverage?
So one strategy is to bundle your policies.
Bundling. Okay, tell me more about that.
A lot of insurers offer discounts if you buy multiple types of insurance from them.
So like general liability, property, workers, comp altogether.
Exactly. It's like a bulk discount for peace of mind.
I like that. Yeah, bundling check. What else?
Another thing to consider is your deductible.
Okay, deductibles. I've heard that word, but I'm not really sure what it means.
So your deductible is the amount you agree to pay out of pocket before your insurance kicks in.
Okay.
And generally, the higher your deductible, the lower your premiums.
So it's kind of a trade-off.
It is.
You pay less each month, but if something happens, you have to pay more up front.
Exactly. So you have to decide what level of risk you're comfortable with.
Right, because if you have a high deductible and something major happens,
Yeah.
it could be really tough to come up with that money.
That's true. And that's why it's important to talk to your insurance agent.
They can help you find that sweet spot.
They can.
Okay, deductibles, got it. What other cost-saving tips do you have?
This might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes spending a little upfront can save you a lot in the long run.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm listening.
I'm talking about risk management.
Okay, risk management. What does that look like in practice?
It can be simple things like installing security systems,
Okay.
like alarms and cameras to deter theft. Or if you have a storefront, invest in good lighting and slip-resistant flooring.
To prevent accidents.
Exactly. And for businesses with employees, safety training programs are crucial.
So it's all about being proactive.
It is, because insurers often reward businesses that take steps to mitigate their risks.
So it's not just about protecting your business, it's also about potentially lowering your insurance costs.
That's right.
And what about cybersecurity? I know that's a huge concern these days.
It is, and having strong cybersecurity measures in place can actually lower your cyber liability premiums.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because you're showing the insurer that you're taking data security seriously.
So things like firewalls and antivirus software and employee training.
All of that.
Okay, so we've got bundling, strategic deductibles, and proactive risk management.
Yep.
Any other secret weapons we should know about?
Don't forget to review your insurance coverage regularly.
Oh, okay. How often are we talking?
At least once a year.
Okay.
Sit down with your agent and go through your policies.
Because things change.
They do. Your business is constantly evolving, and your insurance needs to keep up.
So it's like a checkup for your insurance.
Exactly.
Okay. What are some signs that we might need to reassess our coverage?
Well, as your business grows, you might need to increase your coverage limits.
Okay.
Or maybe you need to add new types of insurance.
Got it.
Or you might find that you're paying for coverage you don't need anymore.
Right, like if you've moved your business entirely online.
Exactly. You might not need as much property insurance.
So it's about making sure your insurance is still the right fit for your business.
Ex-
But what happens if something actually goes wrong?
Oh,
You have to file a claim.
yes.
What are some common mistakes businesses make during that process?
One of the biggest mistakes is not documenting everything thoroughly.
Okay, so if something happens like an accident or a fire or theft,
Take photos, take videos, write down everything you remember.
even if it seems small.
Even if it seems small, because you never know what might be important later on.
So it's like creating an insurance claim journal.
I like that. Document everything.
Got it. What else?
Don't wait to report the incident to your insurance company.
So the sooner the better?
The sooner the better. Delays can lead to complications.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and make sure you keep detailed records of all communication with your insurance company.
Phone calls, emails, letters, everything.
Everything. You want a clear paper trail?
Okay, so document everything, report promptly, and keep good records.
Yes.
What about the policies themselves?
Yes.
Those documents can be so long and complicated.
It can be intimidating.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people just skim them or don't read them at all.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
You really need to understand what's covered, what's not covered.
right, and what your responsibilities are.
Exactly. So take the time to read those documents carefully, and if anything is unclear, ask your agent.
Okay, so it's all about being informed.
It is. The more you know about your insurance, the better off you'll be.
Any other words of wisdom before we wrap up this section?
Remember, your insurance agent is your ally.
Right.
They're there to help you through the claims process, advocate for you, answer your questions.
So don't be afraid to lean on them.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive. Finding the right agent, saving money, navigating claims.
We have.
But before we move on, I want to bring it back to that statistic we talked about earlier.
The 40% of businesses that never reopen.
Yes. It's a stark reminder that insurance isn't just a bureaucratic hurdle.
It's an investment.
It's an investment in the survival of your business
Exactly.
and in your peace of mind.
Absolutely. Let's talk more about that mindset shift in part 3 of our deep dive.
All right, so we've spent the last 2 parts really digging into the details of business insurance.
All the different types of coverage, and you know how to save money, how to file a claim if you need to.
Right, exactly. But now I want to kind of shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about the psychological impact of insurance.
Psychological impact.
Because it's not just about protecting your business financially.
Right.
It's also about protecting your peace of mind.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about being able to sleep at night,
Yeah.
knowing that you've done everything you can to protect yourself from those, what-if scenarios.
Those what ifs can keep you up at night for sure.
Oh, yeah. Think about all the mental energy it takes to constantly be worrying about those risks.
Oh, it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting. But insurance can kind of act like a buffer.
A buffer. How so?
It takes away some of that worry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you can focus on actually running your business.
Right. So you can focus on the things that you're good at.
Yeah.
The things that you're passionate about.
And it can give you the confidence to take risks.
Yeah. Because you know that you have that safety net.
Right, exactly. Remember that restaurant owner we talked about?
When you had the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet having that insurance coverage not only helped them financially, but also emotionally.
I bet so too.
It allowed them to face that challenge with so much more resilience.
Resilience and, a sense of hope
Yes.
that they could actually rebuild.
Right. And that's the power of insurance.
It's more than just a piece of paper.
Yeah. It's a tool that can help you not just survive, but actually thrive.
I love that. It's about thriving, not just surviving.
Exactly. So it's really about shifting your mindset.
A mindset shift.
Yeah. Instead of seeing insurance as this necessary evil, you start to see it as a partner.
A partner.
Yeah. In your entrepreneurial journey.
Like a teammate almost.
Yes, exactly. It's an investment in your peace of mind.
And your future.
And your future. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Imagine yourself a year from now.
Okay, a year from now.
Your business is doing amazing.
Awesome.
You're making a difference in the world.
That's the dream.
You're feeling so proud of everything you've accomplished.
I love it.
Now ask yourself, what role did insurance play in that success?
That's a good question.
Was it just a box you checked?
Yeah.
Or was it a tool that helped you get where you are?
A tool that helped you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals.
Exactly.
I think that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah. So we hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on business insurance.
And its power to protect and empower.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.